Prime Time's Thoughts, an everyday guy, everyday thoughts. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. Today, it's another episode of a Everyday Guy, Everyday Thoughts, and of course, the topic today is accountability. This episode is about accountability, the people's house. I know you're going like, what is he talking about? But accountability of our senators in Congress. They grab a seat, and it's time for us to dive in what I think our founding fathers made a mistake on. It's not having accountability of our senators, even our Congress, our mayors, even our governors. I think there's not true accountability. There's not check and balances. I know for you and me, everyday worker, when we go to work, what do we have? We have our yearly review. That keeps us making sure what we need to improve on, and also at one point keep our jobs. So let's dive into this a bit. Our senators and representatives, it's not just a name. It's supposed to work for you and me. That's why they call it the house, the people's house. That's how it should be. But it's kind of, the accountability has gone away in a sense. I think time limits are important. Also, I think it's also after they're done with their first term and they're about to run again, why can't we have on their campaign check and balances what they did? What I mean by that is that's check a way of checking the performance, right? Let's break it down. How many bills we could see? How many bills, right, did they bring to the floor? That'd be important. Like the whole time he's been in office, he has not brought one bill to the floor. Not one. And he's been there for years. So why is he there? Right? But maybe we could find out how many times did they vote on a bill and what the bill content was. Because that's something important for if he's representing my state or your state. You want to make sure that he's looking out for you and, of course, the United States. But, of course, he's there in your state to represent you, and then the whole picture it represent everybody in the United States. Pretty simple. We should find out, have they been punctual on time? That matters. When you go to work, we could just not show up to work every day and still have our job. Why do they have that opportunity? So if all of a sudden you saw that on there when they're going running again, and you saw how many bills that they brought to the floor, what they voted on, if they were on time, or did they even show up for work? I think, isn't that important? I think it's true, right? They need to show up. We're counting on them to represent your state and the United States. So how many days were they hanging out in Congress? I think it's important for all senators, from the people's house to the Senate to even the president. I think we should have accountability. So when they run for office again, that's what we should have. Unfortunately, that would have been nice that they would be on their campaign, that we could look at it to see if we need to make change, or do we still believe they're taking care of us in our state or not. It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But there's no accountability. There's nothing set up for that. Did they work for you and me, or the people in their state? It just makes sound sense to me. But as what the message is when they campaign on something, I think we should see the accountability, check and balances. Was it a good thing? Now you get to analyze what they ran on and believe that it would help your state or the United States. And did you make a mistake? Not on their part. Maybe they kept their word on the campaign promises, and it turns out you misinterpreted it and it didn't work out for you. So would you want them still in represent you or not? Simple. Also accountability. Their reputation. What if they did something so bizarre and it got hidden up? like you hear in the past that it slowly came out, that actually they spent a lot of money. I forget, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars paying people that got sexual harassed in Congress. There is actually a thing there that we've been paying for that you and me didn't know. And wouldn't that be another situation? Do you want that person still represent you in your state? Simple, right? But that's the problem, I think, right now, that we're not really focusing on as Republicans, Democrats, independents. I think independents are waking up a little bit, that they're seeing both sides. But what's happening right now, it seems one party is in office, talks trash about the other party, and I call that a smoke and mirror, because it actually hides their faults of what they're not doing. So I want to really take a second when you vote, like myself, my senators and my congressmen, my mayors, and it's not about the party. It's about accountability. Did they show up for work? What did they vote on? Did it help you in your state? Did they actually bring a bill to the floor like they promised that they all made changes, but never brought a bill to the floor? So how are they representing us? We could talk about, they could talk about different states. They could talk about how they hate California, how they hate New York, how they hate Texas, how they hate Florida, all that, and throw as much on the chalkboard and then it slide down to hide what they're not doing for you in your state. And I think it's about time. And like I said, that's the problem I think our founding fathers made, that there was not a true accountability of representing the states. They did make the Constitution. I think that's important. But I think wouldn't that be nice that we could do something? But it's too late, honestly, guys. It's too late because they're in power now that they want to have check and balance. But our voice is most important. And now you're starting to see if both parties are from Democrats, Republicans, or all the people are talking about a particular topic, it's amazing how much things change. So this is, of course, Rhymes Times Thoughts, an everyday thought, everyday guy. Thanks for tuning in to Rhymes Times Thoughts, and I hope to catch you again. But like I said, if you press like, subscribe, or even make comments. I'm always listening. So thank you again. Rhymes Time Thoughts, everyday guy, everyday thoughts. Thanks.